Hello everyone, and welcome back to John Builds Iconic Military Models. So as you can see, I've got a new little mini bench saw on the table, and I'm just going to open that in a minute and kind of have a look at the overall quality of this little mini bench saw. And then right at the end, I'm going to just get some different kind of woods, so some woods that I tend to use all the time in my model ship building, and just kind of do some cuts, and obviously using the different angles and the bench top, and see how it kind of holds up. Okay, so I'm going to unbox this for the first time, so I'm just going to take these bits out. Get the little instruction manual. Take this out. Okay, just put this to one side. Okay, so after just kind of opening it up and kind of just picking it up and kind of having a bit of feel of it and kind of feeling the plastic and the metal, the overall quality so far is, I think, very good. You can normally tell why with the weight of things, it's got a little bit of weight to it, and it tends to feel a little bit better quality. We've got a nice little table, it's kind of machine finished. Obviously, we've got a little the ruler mark for when we want to do the different kind of cuts. Well, these are the little parts that we kind of get rid of as well. So we've got a little suction little suction ends, obviously, so we can kind of like attach the Hoover attachments to it. And just kind of fits on that end. And like I say, you can kind of get a little bit of obviously tubing that you can attach that to your Hoover or your extractor fan, and we can kind of suck a bit of the dust away. Looks like we also get some new replacement bushes, so that's quite good. So if you eventually wear your bushes away, you can replace that. So that's kind of handy that we aren't going to try and hunt for some of them a bit further down the line. And it also looks like we're getting another belt as well. So like I say, that's quite handy as well, because I'm assuming that over time these belts will wear out and snap. So yeah, so having these replacements already, that's probably like doubled the lifespan of the table saw. Okay, so one of the parts that I'm going to use quite a bit is this little angle gauge. And like I say, we can kind of probably set that up a little bit later just to make sure we're dead on, like obviously dead on square. Because I say this could be could be a little bit of trial and error where you have to kind of try it a bit to make sure you're dead on the centre. Not saying again, it's not too much slop in the little bracket. So that should be okay. And also we get this little guide fence as well, so that can be slided on. So you've got this little bracket, kind of slide it under the table. I mean, kind of just screw it off for now. Just kind of get the overall feel as how good that's going to be. So just tighten it off. I'm saying I've not marked it or measured it at all. Just want to just feel kind of like how tight and it kind of locks off, and that feels quite good. It's obviously held really tight here. It's not on this far end that's obviously the problem, because you've got a lot of play at the end. That's when you kind of tend to run off. But so far so good. It feels yeah, it feels quite solid, that. So yeah, so far adding a couple of parts together, I'm quite impressed. Okay, so it's also got this little protection fence as well. Like I say, you can take this off for a little bit later on, but in a minute for these cuts I'm going to do just to trial it. I don't think it needs coming off, and it should be okay just be left on. But that feels okay. Overall quality feels okay. And like I say, so if you want to kind of get into the motor, you've kind of got these 4 screws, and it's just saying that you kind of unscrew these screws, take this top plate off, and then you can get to the inner motor, as I can show you on the instruction manual. But like I say, I won't be doing that today because that's no need. Okay, so we'll plug this in, and obviously then we'll have a little play. Okay, so I've plugged in the mini table saw, and I'll just talk about the spec first before we start cutting. So it gets it's a 220 volt, it's got a 50 hertz, 480 watt motor, and it's got no low speed of 8,800. So it's kind of, it's kind of a decent quality one. And we've got a max cutting depth of 13mm as well. So like I say, that's really good. I mean, obviously probably in the entire 2 years that I've been building this HMS Victory, probably the max is probably I cut is around about a 10mm dowel or 10mm block. So like I said, I don't think I really need anything more than 13 mil, so I think that should actually be absolutely fine. So okay, so I'm just going to turn on the motor so you can kind of just hear how loud it is, and then what I actually want to do with the cuts a bit further on, I'll just turn down the sound for the cuts, but I'll just let you give you an idea of just how loud this thing is. Yeah, like I say, so it's quite loud, but it's not too deafening, so it should be okay. Okay, so one of the things that I kind of want this for is obviously a little bit further on when I'm going to start doing some scratch building, is I'm just going to get sheets of wood. I say just kind of like obviously wood coming like this, so that I can kind of like rip to length. So that's one of the reasons I kind of got this for. So I'll just put a try. Obviously, say if I was going to make some some planking strips, and normally your planking strips come around about 5 mil, so you'd get your large sheet. So I don't actually have any material to make some planking at the minute, but I'm just kind of using this off cut. This is the same thickness that you'd get for obviously planking. This is around about 3 mil, so I'd kind of like to show you. So I've set the guide fence up at 5 mil. So what I'm going to do is just going to kind of put it up against the arm of the fence, and then we can just kind of cut it down. And then what I say after we've cut it, I can kind of obviously measure it and to see if it's kind of come out the equal thickness. So I'm just going to put this turn this motor on. Okay, so let's cut one strip. Like I say, I mean, I'm not going to measure it yet, but I think that looks absolutely perfect. So like I say, I'll cut one more. Like I say, you can leave the guard up if you want to, but like I say, it's just a little bit of safety, just keep it down. So I'm just going to cut one more. And like I say, just get yourself a little off cut as a push stick. It doesn't come with a push stick, but you can quite easily make yourself one up. I'll make myself up a little push stick. So I'm just going to cut one more. And I'll just cut one more. So I put these two cuts together, kind of put them side by side, and as you can see, they're absolutely, which is the best camera to show you. As you can see, yeah, they're absolutely cut perfect. Yeah, so far I'm really impressed with that. Okay, so what we do in shipbuilding, we use kind of, obviously you're always kind of cutting repetitively things to like length, like if you like obviously making up some like baluster rails and you need them all at like 10 mil, then you have to repetitively cut them. So one of the good things about this is you can now set this fence to like say like maybe make them 20 mil. So we'll set that up at 20 mil, and now we can kind of use this angle guide. What I did set it up before is I kind of just make sure this was obviously running down there, and I squared this face up right along the top edge of these numbers. Sorry, but you can quite easily use an angle to make sure you're completely 100% square. So what we can do now, we can kind of get these cuts. So we can kind of get it on here, put it up against this stop fence, and then we can just turn him on. And we just repetitively cut the parts all the way to the correct height. Yeah, and like I said, that's one of the hardest things to do in a model shipbuilding. Is kind of get if you're making like baluster rails or anything, any kind of railing is actually hit like 10 mil every time. So that's quite perfect as well. Okay, so one of the other things I want to kind of use this for, move this fence out of the way, is obviously when we're cutting things obviously at a 45 degrees angle. So now I'm going to turn this over to 45, line up, tie that off. So I'd say there's a good thing now is obviously I'll set this at 45 and kind of just repetitively make 45 degrees angles over and over again. So like I say, take that up, just use a little bit of scrap wood, kind of get this on, turn him on. And now we've got a perfect 45 degrees angle. And like I say, I'll just cut one on the other side. And let's put them together, and now we're going to get perfect. It's probably one of the most perfect 45 degree angles I've ever made on a ship build, but that's by the by. Yeah, so like I say, and there's so many more things you can do with this, but like I say, so far, I mean, just these last 10 minutes of playing with this, I'm so impressed, and I should think it's you know, I mean, going forward, it's probably really going to speed up the process of cutting, you know, cutting things to length and obviously getting things right. Yeah, so I'm yeah, really impressed, and I probably can't recommend this highly enough to anybody who's going out there. Yeah, I know these ones that are, they're a lot more expensive. I think this came in around about £60, which is probably around about $80 US, and I know there's some ones that are like, you know, I mean, $300-400. But for me, for what I need it for, this is an absolutely perfect tool, and it's going to be probably one of the most staple tools that I ever use in a model ship building. So anyway, I kind of hope you enjoyed this little review. Like I say, I've got quite a few more tools as well. Okay, so I've also got a little USB mini drill as well, and that's variable speed. So I'll probably do a little review on that as well. And like I say, I bought that for the purpose that kind of like it's freehand, so I ain't got to kind of mess around being tied to any kind of cables. So I'll do a little review on that probably later on in the week. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of found this really useful, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all again soon.